Success in farming is all about precision and efficiency, ensuring every seed, every drop of water, every nutrient and treatment counts. Terraplex Ag is helping farmers all over Iowa and the Midwest do just that. With precision ag drone technology and support from Terraplex, you'll boost your productivity and make timely and informed decisions, all while reducing your costs and increasing your profit. It's time to revolutionize your farming. Harvest the benefits with Terraplex Ag. Visit TerraplexAg.com.
Chris Williams, Brent Blum. From the Northwest Bank Studios, it's Williams and Blum, presented by Mechdyne, on the Cyclone Fanatic Podcast Network.
What's up? Welcome to the program. It is English bringing you in on the 14th of September, 2025. The Cyclones are 4-0. Heading into the bye. Cyclones are 4-0. Brent Blum is 41. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy birthday, my twin brother as well.
Yes, the Hawk.
And Aiden.
And Aiden. Aiden and you are birthday buddies. He's not with us today. He decided to do something else on his Sunday birthday.
I mean, this is the only thing I wanted to do today. See that?
The Clones are 4-0. Like,
talk about your 4-0 cycle. I mean, there are. You just can't beat that. Do you know what other birthdays, Cyclone dignitaries on September 14th? I have a kinship with these two individuals as well.
Who?
The great Troy Davis.
Wow.
Great Troy Davis.
You probably thought that was awesome growing up.
Oh, 100%. And Troy, for out there, like, I'm honored to share this birthday with you. And, you know, just as infamous, Jameel McKay. Remember Jameel?
Damn right I do.
Yeah. September 14th as well, Jameel McKay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
well, that's a lot of royalty on one. A lot of Cyclone royalty.
So that's that's me, Aiden, Troy Davis, and Jameel McKay on the Mount Rushmore of September 14th Iowa State birthdays.
Elite football and basketball players, elite football and basketball minds.
Yeah, well, at least I tell myself.
We are presented as always by Mechdyne. We are in the Northwest Bank Studios. Tough break for the Northwest Bank people who opened up a checking account.
Sorry, team.
We thought the Cyclones might put up a few more in this one. Well, so what do you got there? You got 40 bucks?
40 bucks on top of your 50 bucks? Or is it 100 bucks?
It was 100.
So 140 bucks?
It could be worse.
Still 140 bucks.
It's like a tank and a half of gas if you're on a truck.
Thank you, Northwest Bank. I was thinking about that too. I'm like, man, could have used a couple more touchdowns for everyone's free checking accounts.
For our free friends at the Northwest Bank customer.
Come on, Rocco. No, it wasn't Rocco's fault.
We'll get into all that. We are presented, as always, by our friends at Mechdyne, enabling discovery. That is spelled Mechddyne.
Got a very nice text this morning from one Chris Clover, wishing me a happy birthday.
Lovely.
That's the kind of guy, the kind of culture he's running there at Mechdyne.
Better than the Cyclone Fanatic culture. I texted you and said, what time do you want to record?
What time do you want to record? Let's get this done. No, all good.
Okay, so I feel like I've talked a lot about this. I've already done 2 post games, but I also need to be cognizant to remember that not everybody listens to all of those after the game. I'm going to just run it. I'm going to abbreviate my thoughts and then let you kind of take the reins here. Listen, I thought Iowa State would kill this team. They didn't, and it became pretty evident early that this wasn't going to be that kind of a game. But I also, and I did watch it back. I watched it back last night, and Iowa State was just like inches away from doing big things. Didn't get the job done. Bad special teams, like the worst special teams we've seen in years.
Yeah,
like across the board. It wasn't just the kicking. They were
the roughing the kicker punter changed the game. It really is.
That's where I was going with it, because I guess my point is, like, all of that can be true.
Yep.
Where the Cyclones didn't control this game the way we wanted them to. It was not a Saturday walk in the park for Iowa State. All that said, you average 7.7 yards per play. Defensively, it's like, this is what I don't understand when I go through my Twitter feed. I have people politicking to get rid of the John Haycock 3-3-5, and I'm like, guys, you give up 16 points. And their only touchdown was off of that punt block that they probably want back. They probably don't go for it again.
Fair.
Surge is, he was doing what he was told. He was going to block the punt. You bump into the guy, but it changed the game. It gave them a life, because if Iowa State returns that and even kicks field goal in that spot or whatever, it's just a totally different feel at the end of the first half, and who knows what happens. But it did happen.
Yep.
And that's the thing. It's like you made some mistakes. There were these penalties that you haven't had a lot of in the first few weeks, and you let the live dog. This is why big-time programs don't go and play games like these, because when you're on the road doing this, like, things can happen. Like, and it did. But I was proud of them, because I thought that they, even when it was dicey, I still, like, I watched them. I'm like, Iowa State's better than this team. Like, I don't think they're going to lose. We actually, first game we've watched together in years.
Yep.
And I think I was the most calm person there.
You were. You could tell Iowa State was significantly more talented. Mm-hmm. But it just goes to show Iowa State's won games like that on the other end in years past when the less talented team. If you let a team hang around, then you open yourself up to special teams mistakes and dumb things and dropped passes that turn into interceptions. And Iowa State fought through it. And I'm still proud of the team for doing that. I think more than anything, C-Dub, Matt really talked about in the postgame. And I thought, by the way, your postgame was really good after the game too.
Thank you.
And I understand the frustration. Listen, I was frustrated. It's like, man, that game should have been. It's interesting. So my guy Bill Connolly, I always rely on my guy Bill Connolly. So he's data only, and ultimately the only numbers that matter is the scoreboard. I understand that. His post-game win expectancy for Iowa State was 99.6%. Based on the analytics of that game, it should have been a 19-point spread as far as the final tally. And I think the game reflected that. The problem is, when you make mistakes that turn into points the other way, you end up in a dogfight that you had to earn every single way. I thought, but the big picture here, Iowa State tried to land the knockout punch like 5 times in that first half and went 0 for 5. And by doing that, you ended up opening the door for Arkansas State to hang around. Perhaps, in retrospect, it may have been the safer play to be conservative and just run the ball early and be up 14-3 at halftime and just ground them out. But by taking that deep shot early, you go 3 and out. By trying to block that punt, you get the penalty. Even a couple of the throws down the field when Iowa State ran it at 6 yards per carry, which is excellent. I thought the line played great. I thought Abu and Carson were fine. It's almost like Iowa State got a little bit too aggressive at times on both ends.
Yeah,
and
minus,
on special teams.
Minus Burkle, that's notable.
Yeah, and then, I think the concerning part, John Tez only played 14 snaps, so I think he got dinged up in the second quarter. I don't know how serious that is. Thankfully, this is where I come back to, in years past, I don't know if Iowa State survives that game. The depth really helped yesterday. Iowa State played 29 guys on defense, C-Dub. Mm-hmm. And they really, they played a bunch of bodies, which it was hot. Jace Gilbert ended up playing like 45 snaps yesterday. It was great to see. He looked good out there, number 55. It was just one of those games where it was ugly. It was ugly, and Iowa State survived. But my conclusion at the end of the day, 4-0 for just the third time since 1978, and 2 of those times come in the last 2 years. I'm just not going to get carried away with over dramatizing what was still a win on the road.
Good points. And on the aggressiveness thing, I just feel like I have to just be real here, and I've been pushing for Iowa State to be aggressive for 20 years.
Both ways, correct?
Yeah, and we watched the game with a bunch of people yesterday, and I said this multiple times, and I truly believe it. Like, Campbell's had a great program. Even some of the like dud years, it's like, man, like the 4-8 team. I mean, you're like 3 plays away from being 7 and like so. Like this is such a consistently good program.
Yes.
The reason I feel so confident right now in Iowa State is the maturity of it, and that's not always like the do they make good? No, it's just that Matt's been there for so long with the same coaching staff. Like it's had so much time to let its roots develop throughout the entire university. That's one thing, but 2 is Taylor Mauser. It's not that he's some X's and O's gurus so much better than Tom Manning or Nate Shield. He's more aggressive. They just run a more aggressive scheme now. And even in the offseason, this is where I think I hit 50-50 with my offensive projections, because I think, I said you're going to see 3 tight ends a lot. It's going to be more. There ain't nothing ball control about what Iowa State's doing, though. Like, I was wrong there. Like, they are, even if they have the tight ends, like, they are going for the knockout punch. This isn't a UFC fight where you have a couple of, like, grapplers that are on no. They're trying to roundhouse kick your ass in the first quarter. And yesterday, I think you said it perfectly, they just fell short.
Yep.
Like, they played that style, and I would be a total hypocrite to come on here today and criticize them for that. Looking back with hindsight, could you have just run Sama and Hansen that first? Probably. But we're also all calling him a genius if Rocco connects with Edskelson on that first pass, like they did it against South Dakota. Mm-hmm. So, listen, it wasn't pleasant. It wasn't the greatest afternoon to watch Cyclone football because we were so anxious the whole time. But 4-0 is 4-0, and I don't feel any, other than injuries, I just want to know more. But I don't feel any differently about this team now than I did going into it. Other than, and we can talk about this later, we do start to have to talk about, has Iowa State beat anyone?
Oh, for sure. I get it.
That has to be a part of the conversation. It doesn't take away from being 4-0 and taking care of business. Kansas State is now 1-3. South Dakota's not very good. And what do you think Iowa is? I don't know. I don't know. I could see Iowa be. I don't think they'll be 9-3. I think they're more like a 7-5, 6-6 type team. If you actually made me project them out right now, but I guess with that, like you just like when I do my poll for the Football Writers Association of America, I think I dropped Iowa State 2 spots, and it wasn't anything like it wasn't because of the Arkansas State game. It was just you have these other schools that are getting better wins now. Like I have to put Vanderbilt in front of Iowa State after they go on the road and win at South Carolina.
Same with A&M, right?
Yeah,
I know you don't want to, but it's just that's a big win. Going at Notre Dame.
If Kansas State is 3-0 since they played Iowa State, it's just different. Now that'll all work itself out. It's September 14th, but we have to address that here. You can't just act like the schedule is what we thought it was. Having said that, last thought. It's still an emotional toll to play your 2 rivals in 3 weeks like that. And I thought it looked like a tired football team.
There was no
bye
question.
Comes at a perfect time.
It was. I kind of got that feeling a little bit this week of everyone's like, man, I understand. This is not an anti-schedule. I know that's the next hot topic. Is why are you playing this game anyway? That's the natural thing that comes out of this. Is like, well, you were set up for failure by going to Jonesboro to play this game.
Because humans want to blame other people, and they just instead of just
absolutely.
That's what we do.
There is 100% that is a tired football team this week. It was tired. I think everyone was tired. Shoot, that you think about in totality, you had what was a super physical fall camp, C-Dub, and you have the emotional toll of going to Ireland. Shoot, you and me were tired. We talked to each other. We were like last week, like we're not going to Jonesboro. We can't.
No, we were gassed.
We were just
nothing in the tank,
and we don't do anything.
I texted my wife on Thursday. I said, "Ash, I have nothing in the tank. It's like I am out, completely out of gas."
They have been going hard for 8 weeks in a row with no break, and throw in all that stuff. I think it's human nature. Still doing 19 to 22-year-olds. You could have kind of seen this coming at some point. Now, you hoped your talent would win out. And ultimately, C-Dub, if you look at the data, like Bill Connolly said, Iowa State controlled that game from a data talent standpoint. But again, the mental mistakes, and I think that's what really slipped in here, is your mental fatigue caught up with you. And it allowed some dumb things to happen. And you weren't as sharp in some areas. And that, in my opinion, was the overseas trip, the hard physical camp, the emotional wins over K-State, Iowa. I think that all led into, not to mention it was 112 on the field yesterday in a half-empty stadium. It's a weird setup. Get out of there, get rest. And based on the commentary from Matt after the game, and honestly before the game, I think they kind of saw that potentially coming. That's why, in my opinion, C-Dub, they went for the knockout shot early.
I think you're right.
Is they knew this week this is a tired bunch of guys, and let's knock out Arkansas State, the old Mortal Kombat, finish him in the first quarter. But when you don't, that Rayner, the next thing I got from a lot of folks, some smart people that were texting me, is like, well, if Rayner did that to Iowa State, what's Fafita going to do at Arizona? And I understand that, but I think a 10 days of rest before that, going back home, I think this will be a refreshed defense for sure. There's a lot of banged up guys, and again, 4-0 wasn't pretty, but ultimately it doesn't really change my perspective. We knew all along this year you're going to be in a lot of one-possession games, and guess what? Iowa State, if you count that as a one-possession game, technically it's not, is now 3-0 in those games. So you hope you have the grinders and Rocco on your side to keep finishing these things off, and Iowa State's going to have a bunch of these down the way. And it's I guess I'm grateful that they pulled another one out, because this team knows how to win when it gets crunch time for sure.
Definitely, and that's where I was proud of the team yesterday. I know it was like people were like, it's funny, we get into this Cyclone Fanatic post-game show and you read the comments and it's like panic, and like I'm like, no, like there was a lot of nuance in that game, and I've seen Iowa State in these games where, and I don't want to focus too much on the past because this is just such a vastly different situation.
It's a new program. Mm-hmm.
But where you're not really sure if you're better than that team. Like, come on, like you were, and I can listen. I'll answer your argument, okay? Because the pessimist in the corner is going to say, well, that's why we're supposed to step on their throat, and we're a different team now. I get it.
Yep.
I'm just saying that, like, again, there's a reason why a lot of programs don't schedule these games, and like they're difficult. They just are. Otherwise, everybody would play them to save money and do all the stuff that the reasons that Iowa State are doing, whatever. And it really kind of went the other way, where everything went against you, where that probably should have been a really good game in the fourth. And while it was a game, you still found a way to pull it out. And so hopefully the injuries, I don't know anything about it.
I don't either, because you're worried about the kicker now.
Worried about the kicker.
Worried about John Tez.
It does feel like the Burkle thing was more precautionary.
Yes.
It didn't feel like that was the John Tez thing. Like, I hadn't really given much thought to until you brought it up, and now I'm panicking because that's a really big deal.
And if you watch the game back, there was a pile up in the second quarter we got landed on. I hope it was just like a minor situation. This team needs a bye week. It's a good time for a bye week for everybody, and I'd say John Tez. And then the Conradi thing was weird because that extra point was way off. Like, something looked wrong, and then that other kick was just not even close.
That extra point was like he slipped. Or,
I don't know.
Like,
and you already lost. Remember, the kicker Jace Gilbert got hurt in the first game. So that's a situation now if he's not available, because you don't really have a kicker. Now, they got the walk-on kid from North Scott.
God we had this Big 12 injury report thing.
Do you have to do an injury report in the bye week? Probably not.
Not in the bye week, but, well, the guy who I think they're really missing right now is Willick.
Yeah, which is crazy, but you're right. He's a game changer.
It really looks... I think Bo Goodwin, 34, is going to be a really nice player.
He's going to be a nice player, yeah.
And I'm not giving up on him, and I really like him. I think he's one of my – I like the small-town guy. Like, I'm totally rooting for him. That's a couple games now where he's just been in the wrong spot a couple of times, that it's just been really, like, easy to see. And I don't know. Maybe Willick would have been in the wrong spot too, but I'd like to get him back. I think that'd be nice to have that piece of depth back because
No doubt.
The thing is, it's like all those linebackers, it's like, other than Bacon, kind of stands apart.
Yep.
And I think Ebel's going to be that guy if he's not already. But the rest of them are all just like pretty good, right? Like you don't necessarily know like when Brzezina's out there or when like they all are pretty good players. But I think Willick could be maybe at the level of, I don't know if he's going to be as good as Caleb Bacon, but man, that Kansas State game, he was awesome.
He looked like a little quicker twitch than some of the other ones.
Yeah.
And in particular,
It's probably because he's seen the game so much.
there was a couple plays yesterday where I just think they just looked tired or slow or
They looked slow.
they just looked. And
First game on defense where I didn't think the Cyclones looked like they were just flying to the football.
Totally agree. And Rayner, we talked about it this week. He's one of those little guys that can just run around and make you look silly at times. And the Rucker kid's a good player, by the way. He had some big time Power 4 offers, the receiver.
Yeah, he looks like a Power 4 guy.
Yeah, he is. He got monster offers and he decided to stay, which is good for him. Like that should be celebrated on his end. So those two in particular are really good players. And they made Iowa State look slow, and that's okay. Like again, learning experience, I agree. Getting Willick back would be super helpful. And then you just reload and get ready for Arizona. I'm really anxious to see now because Arizona's got a bye week too, I believe.
Yes. I watched their game.
You're probably looking. I mean, there's not a point spread out for that, but that's probably a 7.5, 8 point spread now. I mean, Arizona has exceeded expectations. I do think Iowa State, the pollsters aren't that smart. They're not going to drop necessarily, but you start looking across the Big 12, and that's where we can get into next. It's going to be tight. Some of these games
That's why the kicking situation needs to
yes
get that, and then you just hope now. Get him healthy and like hopefully that didn't do anything to his head. I mean,
Correct.
Kicking is so much between the ears, and he was so automatic leading up to that.
Even that first kick was, it was 40 plus yards. It was pure. So that's a concern for sure. And then I just some silly things. The dropping of the punt for Tyler. He's never done that before. Surgis running into the guy. I mean, who had the pat? Was it Bramer that had it in his hands? Like he's got to make that catch.
There's too many drops.
There's just a lot
across the board.
The one pause, Townsend. It was nice to see him.
Sowell had 2 more catches.
So you're getting there with those guys.
He had a drop too, though.
He did.
I want to say
There's
too many drops. The receivers
drops.
are dropping too many passes.
And yet, here's the thing. Looked it up this morning. Yards per play, third most for Iowa State since 2021 yesterday.
Yeah. So
it's just like, I know yards per play aren't everything, but it just goes to show they were really consistent at moving the ball.
I also thought yesterday was a great example of. I feel like you and me could write a book on fans, like during like psychology during.
Yeah.
Because you always want somebody to blame. It's like, well, it's the offense or the defense sucks. Haycock, they can't get pressure on third down.
Yep. No, I know where you're going. Yeah.
But like yesterday was just a great example of like the importance of complementary football that Matt Campbell always talks about. And there was nothing complimentary about that effort yesterday, and you still came out with the 8-point win. So
Yep.
I don't know. I am choosing to. I told Leah this at halftime when everybody was wanting to burn the house down. I'm like, well, can we just wait? And there was nothing aesthetically pleasing about that football game at all. But I don't really feel any differently about the team.
Here's where it wasn't a talent discrepancy. What I would have major concern, C-Dub, if Iowa State was getting 2 yards per carry, or if it was allowing 6 yards per carry. That was not the case.
Great point.
You got 6 yards per carry on the ground, which is a huge number, and then Arkansas State couldn't run it. Let's be honest, they could not run it. Now he ran around, made some plays. That's going to happen. By the way, they got 25 first downs against Arkansas as well. This is what they do. What Arkansas, I give Butch Jones some credit, by the way. Their game plan was really good.
Yeah, he's a good coach.
It was like, let him run around, getting those third manageable and let Rayner make a play, and he did. They got a bunch of first downs, but ultimately, they still only score 16 points. And that's going to win pretty much every game in the Big 12. So
I can't wait. I know I've talked about it too much, but the book is actually coming out, and you'll be able to buy it in like 2 months. we'll have but I did a 3-chapter deep dive, like the most like detailed reporting I've ever done in my life on the time spent between the Akron game in 2017 and I think it was like it was the Texas Tech game after they beat Oklahoma, about the development of that defense. And John Haycock was so open with me, and Tyson Veit was so open with me, and the insight that we get. And it's the thing about Iowa State's defense that's so maddening is like there's these imperfections in it when it's not working. Like it's not perfect. Like there's a reason why we all pucker up on 3rd and 15. Like I said a million times, I'd rather that defense have 3rd and 5 than 3rd and 15 because you drop it. Like I know what they're going to do, and I know why it drives fans crazy. But at the end of the year, last year is a total outlier, and I completely blame the injuries. Like if you stack up the numbers since they switched defenses, the results are staggeringly positive towards it. But in these like micro instances, it makes you want to pull your hair out. I don't have any hair, but I'll pluck my little pieces of my beard. You know, but like I really appreciate it because it's innovative. There's a little bit of Leach and Mummy to what Campbell and Veit and Eli Rashid and of course John Haycock did there. And Tyson Veit was a huge part of that, who's now defensive coordinator at Cincinnati. And it's fun, like when you do watch the NFL and you see these pieces of it. I hope over time it's going to be, I don't know if it'll be remembered as the Iowa State defense or like the John Haycock type. I don't know, but it was born in Ames, Iowa. And I would like to see us take some pride in that. And again, like nothing is perfect. I said this on postgame like 4 times last night, and I mean it. Like anything in life that doesn't go in like a straight line up, like a stock in the stock market or like Brock Purdy's career. There's been ups and downs. Like there always is. What's great about Iowa State right now is you can have a down and still win. A down, you know, and you're still talking about constructive things towards next week. Not every down will be that way.
No.
They had a down last year at Arrowhead Stadium, and we all thought the program was coming to an end based on right. We didn't actually think that, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
But you pick yourself back up, and they figured it out, and they played for a Big 12 championship. So that's how I see this. This was a little bump, but it was not catastrophic, and the team hopefully will grow from it.
Yeah, and I just think that was just kind of an encapsulation of where Iowa State is as a program in a healthy way. It's like you didn't play great. You still dominated the game statistically, but it goes to show if you're not mentally in it, or if you're tired, or you let things creep in your mind, you can get beat by lesser opponents. And listen, like I said before, Iowa State's been on the other side of that several times in upsets of the past. You've got a target now. You got your A game from Arkansas State. You still found a way to figure it out and get out of there 4-0, get to the bye week, rest up, and let's bring the Wildcats to Ames. I think it's a great game, and
we'll talk about that.
It's going to be a whiteout, and this team will be fine. This team's going to be ready to go. And quite candidly, now you look at the next couple of games, C-Dub. You know, Iowa State started 7-0 a year ago. Things are lining up that way, but you cannot have those mental errors that Iowa State had against Arkansas State and expect to survive.
We'll jump into that Arizona game in a minute. I want to thank all of our great sponsors who bring you Williams and Blum every Sunday as we can celebrate the varsity football program up at Iowa State, starting with our main guy, Colin Newell. Congratulations to him and his wife. They just had their first child over the weekend. Missed Colin on Cyclone Reaction last night, but it totally, that young man was born on a Cyclone game day. It's good.
That's so
good
cool
for him.
Yeah, so congrats Colin, buddy.
Farm Bureau Financial Services, Colin, 1L. He insures me and Bloom and does a great job. We could not endorse him more here on Cyclone Fanatic. Also want to thank our friends over at the Iowa State Ivy College of Business, the graduate program specifically. Bloom knows all about this wonderful place, but they got a new dean. And that place it's so funny. I was talking to my niece who's looking around at colleges. What am I going to major in? Get all these things. And I said, well, you could always just go into a place and just major in business. What's that? Well, it literally gives you like flexibility to do pretty much anything. The other thing I've noticed in my life is I never thought when I was an idiot sitting with you at Welch Avenue Station, illegally gambling on NBA games through like our bookie in the Bahamas.
Don't turn us in now, please.
I never thought that I would need like a business degree. I thought it would be, wherever newspaper I'm writing for, like they'll take care of it all.
They'll take care of my,
Same with my wife as a veterinarian. Like it is, any kid should consider just getting a business degree. And we have one of the best ones at Iowa State.
Yeah, just for your personal finances alone. The great news, so they announced this week, C-Dub, record enrollment at Ivy. I'm calling it the Cyclone Fanatic bump.
Love it.
5,500 students enrolled in Ivy. Crazy thing, C-Dub, 15 years ago, that was 3,000 students. Think about that. I mean, that is a massive, massive growth. And I'm calling it the Fanatic bump. No, it's the Dean Spalding. It's the Dean Spalding bump, quite candidly. And Raj has taken that baton, and he's sprinting with it.
That's great. We couldn't be more excited to be partners.
Congrats,
with
guys.
Here on Cyclone Fanatic. Last and certainly not least, our friends over at Kelderman Manufacturing for supporting the show. Kelderman was in rare form yesterday. There's not a lot of guys more passionate about the Cyclones than that guy. Him and Mark Steck. This Mark Steck is crazy, by the way.
I love
this
Mark.
guy is unbelievable. Yeah. He's a nut. He'll text me 10 times during the Vikings game just with eggplants. It's just like whatever they. I mean, we have the best partners.
Yeah,
so thanks to
great folks all the way around.
Let's touch on Arizona. They beat Kansas State on Friday night. I'm assuming the majority of our audience stayed up late to watch that one.
Yeah.
Kansas State's a mess. I think Brett Eskildson broke the Wildcats.
I might have.
I also think that while Arizona won the game, I don't know. They're a lot better, especially defensively.
Yes.
They have a really good running back. He's really good. He's top 3 in the Big 12, without question in my mind. The Fafita thing, like, I don't know. He's the type of guy who could give Iowa State problems, I guess, because he can run around and he's so small. He doesn't impress me that much. Now I say that I need to shut up. I think that he was really good in Fish's system. Here's my analysis on them. And I think the new coach comes in last year, and I think they figured it out, a much better way to use their quarterback. I think this running back, who's been at like 5 schools by now,
Yeah,
like
he's been all over the place.
I think that they are finally like kind of coming into their own. Think 2017 Matt Campbell, like where it's like, oh, this is what it's supposed to look like, right? I think they're doing that. Will that mean they put a scare into Iowa State? Maybe. I do think that if Iowa State's not like better at linebacker, that running back's going to pose a problem. Like Iowa State's going to have to be really good at linebacker in that game. Fafita's, again, the type of quarterback that could give this defense problems. It's 3rd and 15, and he can just run it like we saw Rayner do it a couple of times in that football game yesterday. I think, like, man-to-man, Rayner might actually scare me more because of his size. I think that Fafita's a better thrower, no doubt. This is an interesting matchup.
It's interesting.
One that you looked at in June, and you had penciled in Penn, Iowa State double-digit favorite win. Now you're looking at a single-digit favorite with an Arizona program that is believing in its coach, and this is absolutely one the Cyclones have to take seriously.
Yeah, it's a good story. I mean, I think kudos to Brent Brennan for doing what he did.
Absolutely. That's a hard thing to replace a guy like Fish who completely, like, everybody bought into this, and, like, they hadn't been good for a long time. That's a tough spot for him to come in and take that job.
And kind of got lost in the shuffle, but they were awful defensively last year. They fired basically their whole defensive staff and got a new coordinator in there, and that's been the biggest difference for them, C-Dub. They're allowing less than 90 yards a game on the ground. Last year, I'm just going to pull it up real quick. Last year, they were allowed 175 yards on the ground last year, so almost 100 yards better this year on the ground. That's the biggest change for Arizona right there. Now, you're 3 games in against, I don't know, K-State looked completely aimless on Friday again. Like, that is a complete crap show in Manhattan. They're a mess. Avery is a mess. That whole thing was a mess, and K-State still almost won the game. if Iowa State can control the line and run the ball, that's going to be the key here in a couple weeks. I think great point on Fafita. He's a really good thrower. I don't think he's as dynamic running as you might think he is.
Yeah, he doesn't have like the pure size, and like he's fast, but he's more the type that's going to run out of bounds. Yeah, where Rayner will try and juke you.
But still, yeah, but he's a threat, 100% a threat.
He's just played a lot of football, so he's seen a lot of things.
This is the interesting part with them, and I think where Iowa State could potentially take advantage. It's a brand new offensive line. It has blocked great so far. It is also the most penalized offensive line in the country. So there are 5 new starters on that O-line, and I know it's going to be the second Big 12. It's not really. It's their first Big 12 game. K-State technically was a non-conference game. Those guys got like 10 penalties against K-State on the road in Ames. I don't know what the time will be. We'll find out on Monday, but it's probably going to be a hostile environment. How does that group handle it? I think this is a Jack Trice Stadium crowd special, quite candidly. If you can get in those guys' heads, they haven't been on the road yet, it could go the other way really quickly. I really believe that with Arizona. Now, I know it's scary on its face. You know Fafita's good. Arizona's look good. They're undefeated. They've been great against the run. However, if Iowa State can establish the run, get Rocco going, the skill guys for Arizona don't intimidate me too much. I think Iowa State's secondary will be okay. But it's a good game. I mean, like I said earlier, I think this is an 8 or 9 point spread.
Isn't the kid from tomorrow? Arkansas State probably a better receiver than anything Arizona has?
I mean, he's right up there. They lost McMillan. It's hard to. I just was not blown away with their skill outside of that running back, and so. But Iowa State's always generally, and again this year, huge improvement. Iowa State's now played a couple of really good teams, and I'm calling K-State and Iowa good, solid offensive teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
Iowa State's back 110 yards per game on the ground. Okay, so they're 70 yards better than they were a year ago. Iowa State's ability to stop the run has been actually pretty impressive. Now, you let some big plays against K-State, you let Rayner do some stuff, but generally, those defensive linemen and linebackers have been good against the run, and I think that will control the game potentially against Arizona. But yeah, absolutely, this game got a lot more interesting than it did before the season. I'm excited for it. I think this is a great way to open the home Big 12 schedule. It's a game you're going to be favored to win. You'll be favored by more than a touchdown, but you got to be focused and play well. I am glad, C-Dub, actually, last point on this, and then we'll move into guess the point spreads and everything, all the other frivolity here. I am glad Arizona's undefeated coming into this game. I think it's huge for Iowa State.
I think that's set up well.
Yep.
For Iowa State to have them win. I actually had a couple people text me like, "Who are we rooting for?" And I said unequivocally Arizona.
Yeah, but I give credit to Brennan, and he has done a really nice job. Again, they got 40 new guys this offseason, almost all of them from the lower level. But he got a lot of guys that won, including that running back who was at Texas State before. And their team speed on defense looked a lot better too. But they are light. They are light in their linebackers. This is a game. If I'm Mauser, I'm not telling you what to do, Coach, but you're bigger. You're bigger, and I think obviously it has the ability to maybe move them around up front.
All right, let's talk about this week in the Big 12 with Wyffels Hybrids.
When you plant Wyffels Hybrids, you're making a statement that independence and family-owned means something on your farm. So make your choice. Plant your independence. Plant Wyffels.
All right, the Big 12, I feel like we have similar conversations about this league, and I hate that we're always on defense, that you just have to like come on and defend it and all that stuff. I don't know. It was kind of a wash week, wasn't it? Like I don't feel like the Big 12 like. So okay, we'll go through it.
Go through it, yeah.
Houston beat Colorado. Dion's in a bad spot.
Yeah,
rough. if the Arizona game's tougher on Iowa State's schedule, the Colorado game is a lot weaker.
Yep.
When you look at that, you had the Arizona-Kansas State game. Utah took care of business at Wyoming, 31-6. Texas Tech continues to roll. That was the Williams and Blum special of the week, 45-14.
You're welcome.
Baylor rolled Samford. Hey, here's a good win. West Virginia over Pitt in the backyard brawl.
That's a really nice win. Good for them. I thought he'll figure it out there. Rich Rod will.
He'll at least get them where they're like 6-6.
Yeah.
You know,
they played hard. That was I was impressed. The couple snaps I saw. They just looked tougher yesterday.
Cincinnati rolled Northwestern State, TCU over Abilene Christian, and Arizona State handled Texas State in the nightcap. So not a crazy eventful week in the league where I don't think many opinions were formed.
No.
Good or bad.
Other than K-State is just a disaster right now, and I don't know how they're going to get out of it. I don't know. Who do they have?
Let me pull up their schedule.
As an So this is where I go back to, I'm giving Iowa State a bit of a misstep against Arkansas State because K-State did the same Ireland thing, and it has gone to hell in a handbasket for those guys. And I don't think it's a coincidence. I mean, that is a tough situation if it goes the wrong way.
Yeah, and Matt was super honest about that in his press conference. He was asked about, I don't think he was asked about Kansas State, but he basically went into that whole thing about how, well, nobody's had success after they got Ireland and yada, yada, yada. Kansas State's schedule, hold on, ESPN's website's being a little bit difficult with me right now. Yeah, I have to pull it up somewhere else.
It's just K-State. It's interesting how quick, Kleiman was supposed to be kind of the rock solid guy, and even in this era, man, when it starts going the wrong way and your fans get upset,
yeah,
some of the hot takes from oh my gosh, it was the world is falling apart.
Their quarterback's a mess, and I don't know if it's his fault or not.
I don't know either, and but he could not. It looks like
you want to look at a guy who looks like he wants to go to the portal. You watch his eyes when
he's got the yips or something. So I've got it right here.
I got it too.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll read it to you. They get a week off. Like
they need it. They need it.
Then they'll host UCF. Then they go to Baylor. They're a dog in that one. They'll host TCU. They're probably going to be a dog in that one. They got to go to Kansas, dog in that one. Host Texas Tech, dog in that one. Then they go to Oklahoma State, to Utah, and host Colorado. They're in a tough. They're gonna have a hard time making a bowl.
Will they make a bowl game at this point?
They're gonna have a hard time unless they can flip a switch and be like a different. Which again, we're not always perfect, but pretty good read on us in that one. You're going west. Like it's just hard when you watch a team lose to Army, and it's a bad Army team. When you watch a team struggle against FCS, you don't just snap out of that in general. Like. Right. That's why I'm not that worried about Iowa State, because it's like this isn't like some sort of trend that we've been seeing where you're just struggling to get by. No, like I think Kansas State's in deep trouble.
And then what do they do with Kleiman? I mean, he was a lifer there for a while.
You can't. I don't think you can even entertain that conversation.
But
after one bad year, like
looking back now, it's interesting the fact that Colin Klein left to go to Texas.
That's telling, isn't it?
It
looks like Matt Wells is going to be a bad hire.
It's trending that way because whatever's going on with that offense is not it.
It's truly remarkably bad.
It's like I was watching, like, what are they even
especially with Jace Brown? Like you have some of these weapons and like you have some good players.
Absolutely, the running backs are nice players. Avery's it's a mess.
All these people want to kill Avery, and he's been bad. Like I'm not, and he has really hard time with like progressions. You could tell he locks in on a guy. I mean, honestly, most college quarterbacks at early part of their career are like that, but Avery seems especially. I think it's in between his ears. It just looks. That looks like a really bad spot that I'd be surprised if they just kick out of it. But we'll see.
They just look very disconnected.
Do you remember last year we watched Kansas and they were like 0-4, whatever, and you're like, give them time and they did, right? They freaking were the best team in the league for about 5 weeks, and this doesn't feel like that
unless something changes with that offense. It just looked very, very Avery looks checked out. I don't know what's going on there. Interesting now if they
Brett Eskelson broke them.
Ireland broke the cats. Now they
couldn't handle the Guinness, the carbs.
No, so now they're relying on Jerome Tang to uplift their spirits.
We need Tang to go and speak to the football program. God. By the way, we did have a Guinness before the game yesterday.
I gotta have another one.
When it was dicey at halftime, I had another one. Just because I love the clones. It's a little different drinking that stuff at 100 degrees.
Yeah, it was a little hot.
It's all right. It tasted good.
But hey, we'll keep doing it, baby. We'll keep doing it.
You're gosh darn right we will. All right. Well, it's here. Clones are off, but guess the point spreads keep going.
Do I get an extra half point because it's my birthday? No, I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it.
I'd like to instruct you all to go to trywebwise.com, and that will take you to the WebWise solution, where my guys build you a website, and they're not going to rip you off the biggest thing. I promise you, I've worked with a million of these web companies. Most of them they have way too much overhead. They try and sell you things you don't need. These guys won't do that to you. How's that for an endorsement? Trywebwise.com. All right. Again, Cyclones are off. We'll go through and do what we do. So Friday night, we have a Big 12 game. Well, it's not. It's a pseudo Big 12 game. Tulsa is at Oklahoma State. Brent Blum, guess the point spread.
Gosh. I don't... 10.
13 and a half.
It's a miss.
Close enough.
I don't know. I think that's
That's
a
a
miss.
miss.
That's a
That's a
miss. That's a miss.
Big game of the weekend. This is going to be the Williams and Blum sit down and have a Guinness special. Texas Tech at Utah. Big noon kickoff.
Oh.
One of the better
noon?
games in the entire Big 12 all season.
It's big noon?
Yeah.
So 10 a.m. out there?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's really early. Boy. Utah 2.
3.5. That's a win.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, we probably should have mentioned this in the Big 12 segment, and I always want to have an opportunity to throw shade at Clemson and being a South Carolina fan.
Of course. You're a big cock guy.
Cox didn't exactly represent
No.
the state well yesterday,
Did not.
so I don't have a lot of room to talk.
Tough day for South Carolina to state
man.
of.
Bloom was with me, and he saw the agony I was going through watching that South Carolina game. It's not an act, I promise. That was brutal. Is Beamer a fraud?
Well, suppose you have a top 10 NFL draft pick at quarterback and did not
Sure
play
didn't
that
look
well.
like it, did it?
Mr. Sellers.
Not putting him in very good positions.
No. How about Vandy, though?
Vandy's a good program.
That's a good
I think
story.
he's a good coach.
That's a good story. Clark Lee.
So Clemson loses,
Yeah.
and that is a win for the Big 12.
It's a win for the Big 12.
Yeah.
That is
Okay.
that is a near it's not a disqualifying loss yet. But they're now down. Can they get in as an at-large? I don't think so.
They probably have. Well, if they don't win the league, then they would at least have one more loss.
Correct. So you're right. So they're out. They got to win it or they're out. They're not getting in as an at-large at this point.
Here's one to circle. 11 a.m. So we have a big 11 a.m. slot for the Big 12. SMU at TCU.
Ooh. Did SMU end up cruising? They struggled a little bit early.
God, they were like losing to Missouri State.
Yeah.
I guess I haven't looked to
I'm pretty sure they
see
did.
what the final of that. I just assumed that they won.
Is that game at in Fort Worth?
Yes. They won. They ended up winning 28-10.
Ick. 6. TCU 6.
And that's perfect. You guessed the point spread. Well done.
Thank you.
Here's another opportunity. North Carolina at Central Florida.
Ooh. How about... Come on, Frost. Let's get one. A couple legends. Frost v. Belichick.
Frost won a national championship.
He did. What have you done, Belichick?
Just ask him.
Oh, boy. UCF 4.5.
You guessed the point spread perfectly.
No, again?
That's two in a row. Well done, sir.
Laser beams.
The Green Wave of Tulane, fresh off a big win in elite uniforms, it beat Duke. I don't know what Tulane has to do to get more respect around here. They go to Ole Miss. That's a fun one.
A lot of points. Ole Miss beat Arkansas yesterday. Ole Miss 16.
12.5. That's a miss. Just for fun, what do you think Michigan at Nebraska is?
Ooh. I'm going to say the Big Red are 2-point favorites.
You're off on this one. The Big Red are 3.5-point dogs.
Oh, I think that's a tricky spot.
Or 2.5-point dog. I would play Nebraska there. If you can get that over a field goal, I would play Nebraska.
I think so. I think in that atmosphere with that freshman quarterback.
What about Notre Dame losing again? That's good for the Big 12.
That's great. That's another win for the Big 12.
So that was a good day for the Big 12.
It really
now that
was.
We investigate a little bit more.
It really was.
West Virginia at Kansas, 5 o'clock kick.
Kansas, 11.
10.5. Well done. This is the Williams special on Sunday. Bet Kansas.
Yeah, it feels
West
like
Virginia coming off of an emotional rivalry win. They just lost to Ohio, which I think Ohio's decent. They're not.
This feels like 41-21 to me.
Kansas coming off of a bye.
Yeah. New stadium. Yeah.
I would bet Kansas early in the week.
I think so.
Because I would think that most sharp money would go in that direction as well. I don't know. It's too early to tell, but that would be my educated guess. The Gamecocks are at Missouri. I actually thought about driving down to this one on Saturday,
Probably
but I'm
not
not
anymore after that.
I'm not after that. I'm also going to opt to go watch Hollywood Haney and Charging Charlie McKenna race Saturday night down in Knoxville.
Let's go, fellas.
So
Might join you
yeah,
for that.
Yeah, you should. That'd be great.
Is Missouri a 3-point favorite there?
Hold on, I got off the screen. Missouri is exactly a 3-point favorite.
Man, I'm just locked in today.
It does. You're doing very good. I don't want to take away from you. It gets so much easier when these games are like league games and we've seen the teams. Trying to do this in the first couple weeks is impossible. So, like, if you batted a 50-50, you did really well in those first few weeks. Now, this is prime Bloom right here.
I'm in
Vintage.
In my mode.
BYU is at East Carolina.
What are they doing? Hey, not just us, everybody.
And not only are they going down a level, but they're going all the way across the country to do it.
Why would you go to Greenville?
You're jumping 2 time zones.
That's a bad idea, BYU. BYU is allowing 4 yards on the ground per game right now. Man. We're not talking about them enough, by the way. They're real. Now, this will be interesting. They are probably seed up, and I know nothing about the Pirates. They're probably a 17-point favorite, though.
This is a miss. 9.5.
Oh, so they're saying trap. This is a Pirate trap. Okay, be careful. Be careful, Cougs.
Hey, this is a cute little game on Saturday night. We might have to pull this up when we're at the racetrack. Arizona State at Baylor.
Oh, I like this.
This
I
is
like this a lot.
tasty enough to potentially keep me away from the racetrack.
Yeah.
You think our guys over at Dingus would do a split screen with this game in the race?
I think they would. Baylor, 3.
It's good guess. 2.5.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yep.
We got Florida at Miami. That's kind of fun. Wyoming is at Colorado.
Oof. Dion needs this. Well, they're going to get it. 10.5.
13.5.
Non-conference game, that's a win.
Now, just for the record, you can get that game anywhere from 13.5 to 15.5. So the lines are everywhere on that.
Okay.
But I'm going to give you the benefit of doubt.
Thank you. It's my birthday.
Last but certainly not least, that's the last Big 12 game. On that Colorado game, though, I've hinted at this, and we did get it finalized this week. So I'm going to be working with the Denver Cyclone Club the Friday night before that game, and we're going to do a big. They're doing a bash, and I'm going to be there doing book stuff, but we're also going to raise money for some Cyclone scholarships that they're putting together. So if you want something to do and you're going out to Boulder, that will be the Friday night before. I'm getting all the final details, and I'll make sure you guys hear about it, but that'll be a really cool event. I've heard they have a really engaged group out of Denver, and they're really awesome, and I know that they're super excited to have Cyclone fans coming back to the Rockies.
So look this morning, because I'm just kind of curious, and I'm keeping the people informed. Tickets are dropping a little bit price-wise. Now, it's still a healthy ticket. Like, you're still talking about $100 to get in. but that was 160 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So
Well,
now.
Dion seemed really down. It was almost kind of sad because we have this vision in our head of what Dion is, Coach Prime, and I almost feel bad calling him Dion now. I feel like I need to pick him up and actually refer to him as Coach Prime. The guy's fought through cancer.
Yeah.
His kids left.
Yeah.
He seems miserable. I don't think he'll be the coach next year.
I think between them and K-State, it's kind of a race to who wants to get the season over first.
Dude, did you watch his press conference?
No.
It was depressing.
Yeah. It's kind of a bummer. For the sake of the Big 12, it is helpful that those guys are interesting, and they are super not.
I've told you guys for 10 years, you don't just walk into a Willie Fritz coach team and.
How about Willie?
He's a great coach, man.
The Houston, we didn't talk about that one. The call on them early by us on the summer, I think we had them at 9th when I was like, what are you doing with them?
Remember all those Baylor fans were just mocking us?
Yeah.
They look really good.
They look good. Who do they got? They don't play. They got a bye week. Must have a bye week.
I mean, but you look at Fritz's tenure, and he hasn't been to sexy places, but he just wins.
He wins. Second year, he always wins, and he
always wins.
That looks like a very well coached team.
He's got a little Campbell vibe.
Well,
right?
and then honestly, Wegman, the quarterback, he made some big time throws in that game. He's got NFL upside. I mean, he was a top 5 recruit in the country, and it just didn't work out at A&M for whatever reason.
Well, this is just his first shot, too.
Yeah.
He built this program, one that we're familiar with, down at Central Missouri, where in the MAIA and D2, and they were just solid.
Yep.
He gets the Sam Houston State job, and all of a sudden they're literally in championship games, I think 3 years in a row. Then he gets Georgia Southern. He goes 17-7 in 2 years, 14-2 in the Sun Belt, and then he takes over a bad Tulane program, and we all know what they are now.
Yep.
They're maybe they're probably the favorite right now.
In that
maybe
league.
with South Florida probably to get the playoff.
To get the playoff fight, yeah,
right,
yeah.
In South Florida, and the Fighting Golishes lost yesterday to Miami. That little fun little run came to an end, but.
So interestingly, Houston's got one more non-conference. They get a bye week this week. The following week, they go to Oregon State. Should take care of business there, based on what I could tell. And then they host Texas Tech on the.
Boy, that'll be a fun.
Yeah. So
think of that crowd.
They're going to be undefeated.
You want to get
ranked. They'll be
Houston
ranked.
fans to show up, play another Texas team that.
I think that's going to be a fun one. That might get that place sold out, and then they're off and running. You got to keep an eye on them. Now they are not in the upper tier yet. But just like we thought, that is not going to be a layup even for the Techs of the world going over there. I got to go coach some soccer now.
Let's go, buddy.
I'm going to go get my
Let's go, boys. Bloom boys.
Yeah, we're going to kick some goals.
Well,
some tips.
Yeah, that's a hot day for it. So happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Aiden Wyatt, Troy Davis, and Jameel McKay.
Okay.
He is Brent Blum. My name is Chris Williams. We are always presented by our friends at Mechdyne in the Northwest Bank Studios here on the Cyclone Fanatic Podcast Network.